Hello?
Hi, Jordan.
Hi,
Oh,
evening.
my volume isn't up. Sorry. Hello.
Hello, can you hear me all right?
Yeah, my volume was down. Sorry
Okay.
for all the confusion.
No, you're good. I mean, I saw the post on the Mafa Instagram and I was like, oh, CST, that actually makes sense. So
I know.
um
How's your vacation? You're on vacation, right?
yes, like summer vacation or like um because I it's funny you say that. I just came back from a trip.
Oh,
Um
how was it?
it was nice. I went to Tennessee.
Oh,
That was pretty cool. Stopped by Cincinnati and Dayton for some museums. That was fun. Um, so yeah, just climbed around the Rockies and did touristy things.
hmm.
Yeah.
All right. Nice. I know Clarice is from, or you're in Cincinnati, right? Yes, UC. Alrighty. Well, thank you again for interviewing with us to be on the 2025-2026 Mafa e-board. You're running for treasurer and we're excited. Um so it's exactly the same way as the last interview. Um we'll give you 5 minutes to do your speech. We'll have the Q&A session. Instead of doing the 5 minute Q&A session, we're gonna give you 3 questions.
Sure.
But yeah. And then I'll start the timer whenever you're ready.
Yeah. Um, Before I begin, like the background noise isn't too disturbing, is it? I'm currently studying in one of my like favorite cafes, if that's all right.
I understand, I don't hear anything, so
All
I
right,
think
sounds
you're good.
great. All right. Hello, good morning, good evening, good afternoon to board members, friends, and anyone who is tuning in and listening. I wanted to start off by saying that it is an honor to be here again. Thank you, Mafa Board, for this opportunity. It is with profound gratitude and great joy that I stand here before you today and deliver this speech I have prepared. My name is Jordan Cruz. I'm a third-year student studying computer science at Wayne State University in Detroit, Michigan, running for the treasurer position. The organization I'm a part of is PhilSoc, or the Filipino Student Society at Wayne State University. A little bit about me. My passion for the Filipino community in Michigan started in high school, where I was fortunate enough to take part in a cultural fair where I would participate in fashion shows as well as perform traditional and modern Filipino dance. After 2 years, I sought out and joined PhilSoc, where my passion for Filipino culture flourished. In PhilSoc, I was elected as one of the co-cultural directors. As it pertains to the treasurer position, one of my responsibilities as co-cultural director was to create the budget and track profits of our Philippine Culture Night, PCN, right? Our PCN was held at an external venue this year, the first time in over like 8 or so years. And despite the higher costs, we were still able to profit about $2,000, which we subsequently donated to charity. In addition to those responsibilities, I also created and maintained the PhilSoc website, allocating funds um, from our bank to run and maintain it, as well as taking on the fundraising efforts, helping us raise $8,000 for ABS-CBN, doubling our previous record for donation. My first Mafa event was Battle of the Bamboo 2024. I was so impressed by the sheer scope of the events. I also love the fact that there are so many schools under the Mafa umbrella. I attended MAFAS, MFAS for the first time in 2025. where I was inspired further to be involved in the Filipino American community. My treasure experience actually extends beyond my time in PhilSoc. I have been raising and keeping track of money for nonprofits since I was a freshman in high school. Doing this, I've had to repeatedly create budgets for myself, especially since I was raising funds with my own money. Over the course of my high school career, I ended up raising around $10,000 for various nonprofits around Michigan, especially Metro Detroit. Accounting for more relevant experience, I'm also the current treasurer of a nonprofit I co-founded, Filipino Americans in Tech, or FAMT. We just achieved 501(c)(3) status, which we're super excited about. But in preparation for that, I've been creating budget proposals for some of our future initiatives, such as sending members to hackathons to gain coding experience as well as upskill themselves. My experience with nonprofits and budgeting more than qualifies me for the treasurer role. I understand the importance of transparency, accuracy, and responsibility when managing funds on behalf of a community. These values have guided my work in every financial role I've held. My previous experiences not only give me insight on how to align our future goals with a sustainable budget, but also ensure that we keep our nonprofit status. I have such a deep passion for the Filipino American community and the people in it. Being Philsoc's co-cultural director for the 24-25 term was one of the most fulfilling experiences of my life. And I humbly ask for your support, as well as the opportunity to serve as your treasurer next year. Together, we can continue to strengthen our community and celebrate our shared heritage. Maraming salamat sa lahat. Thank you all for your time.
Wait, that was really good. That was really good. I loved your speech. Do you need a drink of water?
I already drank all my water. So I'm good.
Okay.
I'm ready.
Okay. And then we'll start off with the three questions. Clarice has your first question.
So how would you describe your approach to managing cash flow and liquidity? Is that
Liquidity. By liquidity, you mean like um our liquid assets, like cash, right? Okay, excellent.
Yes.
Um, so my main goal for managing assets, because I'm assuming Mafa only has cash assets, is the same approach I take when considering the budget for my own projects. First of all, we have to estimate the income. So we have to know how much money we're taking in because I don't think Mafa has any membership fees associated with it. I'm assuming you guys get most of your funding through grants and donations, things like that. And then we match that with the expenses that we incur. So that's like, I'm assuming you guys, I actually not assuming, I have seen this. You guys do offer help to smaller organizations for whatever they need. It's really just a matter of if they're willing to reach out to you or not. Um, as well as like the bigger events, because I'm assuming you guys also sponsor like Battle and MFOS Fact. Yeah, exactly. So it's really about matching how much we get in grants and donations to how much we expend and then like adjusting if anything changes. That's my like very typical and standard approach to like managing assets and liquidity.
Next question. How would you balance Mafa's multiple financial deadlines when it comes to planning MFAS and other Mafa events?
Hmm. Sorry, I think I have an answer for you now. Okay. Um, can you repeat the question just one more time?
Yeah. How would you balance Mafa's multiple financial deadlines when it comes to planning MFAS and other Mafa events?
Okay, excellent. So when it comes to balancing multiple financial deadlines or just deadlines in general, I find it's very useful to have a timeline. I'm not sure how the previous treasurer would typically run things. But the main issue when it comes to deadlines is like getting access to the cash. Um, as a 501(c)(3) nonprofit, I've or someone who's worked with 501(c)(3) nonprofits, I've always been on the giving end, never the receiving end. So I'm actually unsure as to if there's any sort of strict legal process you have to adhere to when it comes to um like utilizing your own funds. But assuming there is, I would make sure to allocate us enough time to access and spend that money so that we don't really have to worry. Because I understand how bureaucracy works. I understand that it's very litigious and annoying to work with on occasion. So your best friend will always be time in that regard.
All right. And then for your last question, since you have a lot of experience with a lot of different organizations, tell me about a time when you had to make a difficult decision regarding an organization's finances.
Hmm.
I can also put it in the chat too.
Sure. I think the most difficult experience I've had um with finances was actually with this PCN for PhilSoc, our 2025 PCN. It was probably the biggest and most successful PCN we've ever had. But, you know, great success doesn't come without great risk. Um, uh, our student center changed their operating hours. So we were literally forced to find an external venue and have our PCN there. And as a small like Filipino organization in the Midwest, you know, it's kind of hard to allocate like funding to secure grants, especially since our school doesn't really allot a budget for that. So everything we have in our bank was fundraised throughout previous generations of PhilSci boards, as well as what we did on our own. Um, so we really had to take a gamble and, you know, plan carefully so we could find a venue that fits our budget, as well as, you know, make our money back with the tickets, find the adequate pricing, making sure we advertise enough to get people interested. Um, you know, because you don't want to leave the next generation, the next board with less than you started with. That's not right, in my opinion. But thankfully, all our hard work paid off, and we were able to profit and donate that money to charity, and set a new donation record. And I think that's really a testament um, to how grit, perseverance, and careful planning can really make or break an event. And I think I've been through that enough times to have enough experience to navigate whatever issues come up in Mafa.
That was really good. I loved all your answers. Oh, all right. So I'm just gonna explain the next process. I
Sure.
sent it in the email, but just to reiterate, we will be voting amongst the Mafa sphere, so Mafa's VPEs or presidents, and then Mafa board as well. We will be voting from June 27th to the 29th, and then those results will be sent to you on June 30th. And then since you are running unopposed, you need two-thirds vote, um, two-thirds majority vote to be elected. Do you have any questions?
Excellent. Yes. So I know there were some delays last time, and I'm wondering if part of it was my fault. I just asked all my friends on various boards throughout Michigan to like look at their emails and vote for me.
Mhm.
And there may have been some confusion. So it's one vote per MAFA organization,
Yes.
correct? Okay, excellent. I will make that clear next time. I feel bad because I don't know if I had any part in that delay or not.
No, it wasn't, no.
Oh,
You're all good.
okay, excellent.
Mhm.
And then yeah, I think that's the only question I ha actually I do have one more question. Um, does Mafa keep records of its previous budgets at all?
That is a great question. I believe we do.
Okay, okay,
Should.
excellent, excellent.
And then we have.
Because
Mhm.
oh, if I were to get this, role, it's a lot smarter to just modify existing budgets based on like current expenses and revenue rather than create a whole new one from scratch. It's like a monitoring and adjusting type edit. So it's nice that it's there for the most part.
I might have to ask you for some like budgeting like advice.
Oh,
Every time I get money, it's gone. So I might have to ask you some questions about that, some
oh,
finances.
yeah, feel feel free because when you're on the college student budget, you really have to make the most out of all your dollars.
Right. You really do. But you don't have any more questions?
No, not at all. Thank
No.
you.
All right, well, you did an amazing job. You did great with your speech and all your questions. So now we'll just be voting and you'll hear from us from or on June 30th.
All right, excellent. Thank you so much. I appreciate your guys' time.
Thank you so much.
All right, have a wonderful day.
Hi,
Hey there, how are you all?
I'm good. How are you?
Tired, but
Tired?
managed. Mhm.
What did you have today?
Just classes. I'm taking summer courses, so
Oh.
I know.
Are they almost done though?
Yes, so I'm at U of L, so the University of Louisville, and we do it in like a quarter-like system for the summer. So my classes
Oh,
run from the end of May to the end of June, early July. So like my last day of class is next week, next Tuesday.
wait, that's exciting.
I'm almost finished, so we got
So
this.
close. You got it.
Mhm.
Finish line is there. Alrighty. Well, thank you for applying to be on Mafa's interview or not interview, Mafa's e-board 2025-2026. It is the exact same process as last time. The only difference is that instead of 5-minute questionnaire, we have 3 questions for you. And then I have the 5-minute speech. And then I will be sending you the warnings again in the chat. Do you have any questions?
So, am I still giving the speech first and then you all asking questions, or do
Yes.
you? Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
sorry, I went like all over the place.
Oh, you're good. You're good. And then the second question I have is the time limit the same for the questions, or is it just like five
No,
minutes, okay, or just like
just however long 3 questions equal.
okay,
Yep. And then you're running for fundraiser chair, right?
yes.
Okay, perfect. You're ready to start whenever.
So so good evening, everyone. My name is Michael Massey. I'm a rising fourth year public health student at the University of Louisville in Kentucky. I'm a member of the Mafa through the Kababayan Ambassador Program, and I'm applying for the vacant fundraiser chair position for next year's e-board. So this position will allow me to fulfill my desire to cultivate a welcoming community for all Filipino people here in the Midwest by ensuring that Mafa has a consistent stream of income. And so through multiple on and off campus positions this past year, I have learned the need for a consistent streamline of funds to keep organizations afloat. So, most relevantly, I served as treasurer for the Kentucky Public Health Association's U of L student chapter, where I directly managed funds. And I also planned and finalized an organization wide budget for the SPHIS Student Council as its president. And so these positions gave me that experience collaborating with others to set financial goals while simultaneously executing them. The reason I'm going for fundraiser chair instead of treasurer is because of my capacity, just because I'm not able to fully commit um, to finalizing an entire budget and executing it. But I am able to plan out events in the future to raise funds, though. So, as fundraising chair, I envision transforming how Mafa would approach financial sustainability through like 3 key ways. So, first would be establishing a Mafa Sphere fundraising pipeline. That's how I quote it. So it would basically be like establishing a theme that we go with throughout the entire academic year. So that could either be a theme that is very closely linked with other activities we do. So, for example, like if we wanted a theme connected to what we're doing for MFOS or any of our like leadership retreats, that would be decided. I guess I would have final say, but I would absolutely get input from the rest of the e-board. And then going off of that, it would be working with e-board members like the director of media to create merch that really lines up with that idea. That way we create a cohesive marketing strategy so that people understand, okay, if I give money in this way, it's actually going to the organization. And then also I would request the chance to table at other events that Mafa hosts. So whether that be digitally. So for example, I know we have like the Minecraft Mafa server. So like just setting up like a cute little booth and just being like, hey, like, Mafa, you can get involved in these ways. And I know that sounds weird for like college students. I know that a good amount of the work would be working with external organizations, but that's just because a dollar from like over what 500 to 1,000 students, that can go a long way. And speaking of external orgs, I would try and revolutionize our sponsorship approach with like cultural partnership packages. So I would want to expand upon like this past year's Special Presidents Project by building more meaningful connections with external organizations, especially the financial and nonprofit ones, to establish like mentorship programs or networking events. And so that way people have a more inclusive understanding of what philanthropy and like fundraising and donating would look like. Specifically because when we think about trying to raise funds, sometimes people think, oh, like I don't one-to-one connect with or understand a mission statement. And it's like, well, no, like we want to be involved with you, even just past the money making or just past you giving us money, example given. Then plus like it would also just keep people involved with Mafa. And then third, I would want to center the Mafa sphere itself in any marketing that we do. So that would be like using social media strategically across all the platforms that we have to just remind people of why we exist as an organization. That kind of already is what we do anyway, whether that be we highlight the community historical events, but really just emphasizing how that connects to like a fundraising effort. Like, hey, if you want us to actually empower the community, that involves donating time, talent, treasure, and also doing so in a way that's like culturally competent, not just like give us money, even though I know that's probably what we would want to do. So most importantly, I just want to embed cultural awareness into any fundraising effort. I try not to just like ask people for money, just because like our heritage isn't just what we're raising money for, it's like who we are as people. And so I would just want to work with all my fellow e-board members to ensure that any campaign that we do highlights the culture that we all have in common. And so that's just what my fullest efforts would go to. So I appreciate you all for giving me the time to speak with you and your time, trust, and opportunity to serve. Thank you guys.
Right, you did amazing. Alrighty, so for your first question, you talked a lot about like your new ideas and your three like action plan, right? Like it was like the three. I really like that. Could you maybe like describe an event that you would like to host, like a fundraising event, and how would you plan on executing it?
So an idea that I had would be hosting a game night with a fundraiser component to it. I was working it out in my head before, like, what would that look like? And in terms of it, it would be everyone's allowed to participate. It's just kind of see, because that doesn't really sound good, but it's just like kind of encouraging people to donate as needed. So or as they are able to is the better way to phrase it. So basically like a game night with a fundraising component. Either that or I would try and host one of those like networking events. I don't want to make it like a barrier to donate. Um, so that would just have to be something I would have to work out. Um,
All right, for your next question, how will you encourage the Mophosphere to participate in fundraiser events?
that would ultimately be in the way we campaign to fundraise. So that's why I would like to really leverage our social media platforms and really talk about what we do as an organization. A lot of times people will donate based on why an organization exists rather than the specific activities that they host. So for example, they from my experience with philanthropy groups here in Louisville, Kentucky. Instead of being like, hey, we're hosting this fun event, it's more so like, hey, you all are wanting to promote racial justice. You all are wanting to promote health equity. And we really, really appreciate that. And so on top of making sure that people understand what we do, it's also about why we do it. And so then that would also be tying it into some of the other event ideas, like I kind of mentioned during the speech, which is like trying to also build community. So trying to have like a consistent schedule of events. So whether that be having like a mentorship event or like a networking event, or even just using stuff like the game nights to really just be like, hey, like in the corner, like please consider donating. $1 helps, and just having like our Cash App on screen, just something really informal like that.
Doing amazing so far. Your last question is, what strategies would you use to identify potential donors?
So step one would be asking the previous e-board, specifically the treasurer, and I don't know if there was a fundraiser chair this past year, but just asking those folks like, hey, like what organizations have sponsored us in the past? What grants have we applied for and have received or were rejected? Like what was the situation before I got the position? That way I know what actions or what connections to build upon or to retake, and then also the ones to not go forward with. Unfortunately, as we know, not every single grant is able to be reapplied for. Not every single connection is a positive one. So just making sure that we can start from like a foundation is where I would begin. Next up, it would be also searching in places like, if I remember off the top of my head, it's like Grantmaker. There are many websites that organizations can use to like search up grants, and then also just kind of asking around, whether that be asking our specific member organizations if they have any grants that they have applied for, or any organizations that they work with and collaborate with that they might, excuse me, any organizations that they think might be interested in supporting a regional type of organization. Looking around on social media platforms, just because at least here in Kentucky, when it comes to businesses or organizations wanting to work with like the Filipino community specifically, or just broader Asian ones, they typically just function on social media platforms without having a distinct website. It's kind of like informal, kind of a mutual aid approach, but just those sorts of research. And so previous connections, current research, and then just kind of goal setting as well. Just like how much money are we looking to fundraise for through grants and connections like that.
That was great. That was really good. Do you need like a water break?
I just had one, so.
Okay, perfect. Nice. Well, you did amazing. What was it? Okay, I'm gonna explain the next steps. I put them in the email, but it's the exact same process as the last one, except voting is only 2 days. So the Mafasphere will be voting from June 27th to June 29th. This will be Mafa schools, VPEs, presidents, or any executive board position. They will be voting, and then Mafa Board will be voting as well. And then we will let you know the results on June 30th. Do you have any questions?
This might sound really strange. If I don't get the position, are there any other opportunities to work with Mafa? Just because I'd like to still be actively involved.
Yeah.
This past year, there wasn't really any programming for CAP, and
Mhm.
the Discord was kind of dead, so I don't want to lose the connection to you all.
Yeah. I can further discuss that with I don't think there are any other Mafa positions opening, but there is something in the Constitution that I can look at. Um, it's like in the back of my mind, so I will have to get back to you about that. But I can go see.
Sure. And
Any
then
other
that was it.
questions? Oh, okay. Nice. Well, you did amazing. And you'll hear from us on June 30th.
Alrighty, thank you all so much.
Thank you.
See you all later.
Hi, Tyler.
Hello.
Hello. Is your cat there?
Yeah. Is he? Oh, he's staring at me. Yeah.
Oh, alrighty. Well, how's your day going?
From where you're seeing me now, I have not gone up at all except for going to the gym. So
There you
very
go.
eventful.
That's a good plan.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, thank you for running for the fundraiser chair position. Um, what was I gonna say? It is the exact same process as the first interview. We will have You'll have 5 minutes to do your speech. Instead of doing a 5 minute Q&A, we're doing a 3 minute, not 3 minute, three questions, and then that's it. And then after that, I'll explain the next steps after that. Do you have any
Great.
questions?
No.
No? All right. And then I will be sending the 1 minute, 30-second warnings in the chat. And you can start whenever you're ready.
Good evening, Mafa. My name is Tyler Janelle. I'm a senior marketing and supply chain student, and I'm also part of St. Louis University's Filipino Student Association. I previously served as the org's dance coordinator as well as the entertainment committee head from when we hosted MFAS. I'm thankful for this platform tonight as I'm running to be your fundraiser chair. I'm continuing to run for e-board as fundraiser chair to provide support for Mafa affiliated schools, organizations, and Mafa in general. As a previous board member for FSA and as a marketing major, the responsibilities of this role align with my goals in such a way that benefits our org's mission. I understand that this position is new for Mafa and it may be difficult to navigate. However, it provides the chance to seek out new opportunities and partnerships to take Mafa into a new direction. With its responsibilities, I am eager to facilitate this new role and face these challenges for this organization. My sophomore year, FSA had the opportunity to host MFAS, where I managed the conference's variety show as the entertainment committee head. In this position, I organized performances and logistics of the event, working with a small team, communicating with other orgs, philanthropies, and headliners. In this position, I have shown my ability to multitask, show empathy, and work under a strict budget. This proven track record of managing complex events and multiple channels will be essential in securing financial support the org needs. Another way I can assume financial security is my adaptability. I've been nurtured in a changing environment, learning to grow and innovate from my own understanding, from the challenges I face, the people I meet, and the roles I take up. Fundraiser chair is no different. Being historian for my school's K-pop dance team my sophomore year, I was given the task of our showcase's decorations and photo booth, despite having very limited knowledge with K-pop. Because of this challenge, I had to use my own perception of the org's members and pop culture to understand the theme and style of decor and bring it all to life. With my proactive and analytical approach, I can ensure that our fundraising efforts aren't only ambitious, but are innovative and strategic for success. Besides that, I believe that the ability to network is an underrated soft skill, and it is one I possess and will be able to provide on board. Being a Mafa intern this year, I had the hands-on opportunity to work with Mafa's executive board and their responsibilities and connected with other Mafa interns organizing an MFAS workshop. Additionally, I had the privilege of attending Kabataan Makaisa 3 at UCLA. There, I connected with Filipino organizations not only across the Midwest, but throughout the country. I had interacted with other students through advocacy-centered workshops and the Kabataan Alliance Midwest. Attending the event gave me an enriching experience in not just our culture, but a better understanding of networking and fostering relationships. These established connections and a deep understanding of community building are important, and I intend to continue these partnerships and secure support for our collective goals. As fundraiser chair, I will be focusing on networking, empathy, and accessibility. My first priority is to assist organizations in their fundraising efforts. One way I can do this is by creating a forum that will allow me to understand their needs so I can directly assist them or lend my hand and connect them with the right opportunities. As an umbrella organization, it is important to take every org into consideration, and this forum is meant to assure that all orgs that they are heard. Even if it isn't guaranteed, I'm committed to personally providing assistance in their fundraising pursuits. Additionally, with my connections with several philanthropy and advocacy groups, I intend to request partnerships with said orgs. That would mean advocating, reporting, and sharing their efforts on Mafa's platform in accordance with our media and marketing chairs. This provides opportunities for more action and donations in which none or a small proportion of it will come to us. This initiative pushes advocacy to the forefront while still providing our org and sequentially member orgs the funding they need and fight for a good cause at the same time. Another goal for me is to establish passive income streams. I can do this through the means of a year-round GoFundMe collaborating with the treasurer, and aggressive outreach for fundraising. These two options provide additional recurring funds without direct focus, so we can accumulate funds for our events such as an MFS and bondings. These donations also provide a greater chance for our member orgs to achieve Mafa grants and sponsorships. And when I say aggressively, I mean that I will be consistently reaching out to chains across the nation, as well as local shops near our member orgs to benefit from fundraising and sponsorship opportunities. This outreach will make it easier for our organization and member schools to access funding and achieve their goals. With my strong strategic attitude, attending to multiple executive boards, and experience with advocacy and networking, I have the ability to adapt to small and large scales that will help me thrive as your fundraiser chair. Taking on this role will be a huge responsibility to uphold, but it is one that I will wear on my sleeve and take great efforts to provide the most that I can. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Okay, that was really good. Do you need a water break? All right, there you go. And then once again, instead of 5-minute questionnaire, we have just 3 questions for you. And then let me know when you're ready. Oh, there goes the timer. Okay. For your first question, what fundraiser event would you coordinate for MFAS?
I mean, for me, in my opinion, I feel like I would be more involved if I felt like I was heard. In my, from my experience, I think having a way for Mafa members to feel involved goes a long way and incentivizes the return, especially since my experience with Mafa, I've seen it with Wisconsin, Illinois, and recently St. Louis schools, like even all the way in Pennsylvania, that may want to be involved. I don't know their perspective, but finding a way to get at least a couple other organizations involved that would probably facilitate a little more return when it comes to fundraising efforts. A giveaway, like if you donate X amount of dollars, they can it could be this could be centered around large events. You could get make enough money, maybe just Battle of the Bamboo tickets or something, or something involving MS, which would incentivize more people going to those events, which initially is a lot of money up front, which would again make people want to go to these things a little more likely. And then if we do events similar to how Outreach is doing the weekly Wednesday events, then there is like an opportunity to include like donation goals. We reach this, then this will happen. So like if you streamers, they often have like these donation goals, and then some of them do X amount of thing. I know there was one that did like a tattoo. If you reach X amount of dollars, like something like that. Not a tattoo, but they will do something embarrassing. Or something intriguing. I don't know. It just, but if it was embarrassing, then I feel like people would want to throw more money into it, because they just would like to mess with their friends for some reason.
Your next question is, how will you encourage the Mafosphere to participate in fundraiser events?
Again, and just going off like the last point, it does seem like, at least for the in-person fundraisers and stuff here and for other schools, people really like to rib on their friends. So maybe finding a way to do that virtually could help, maybe through like a bingo card, but I personally don't like the bingo cards. So something similar to that. And then for those in a Ma family, those who are really involved in it, there could be a potential like race or competition to see who would raise the most in that family. So if, say, the Punsit family raises the most amount of money, then I don't know, they get bragging rights, something like that. And then we could also reach out to high value locations. Like I know if there's an in-person event such as Battle of the Bamboo in the Chicago area, we could reach out to something as popular as Jollibee, because I know they have fundraising opportunities. I don't know how difficult it is to get them to participate in fundraisers, but I know everyone loves Jollibee. So but just overall, just figuring out what is popular among members of our organizations, but also across the Midwest, depending on if we want to localize or regionalize these fundraisers.
All right, so your last question. Mafa regularly collaborates with various businesses and nonprofit organizations. How would you leverage these connections to enhance the success and impact of our fundraising events?
For this, I would go into a little more of a consulting mindset. Of course, I would want to continue to reach out and connect with these organizations, try to get up to date as much as possible, and just see what we can do better and how we can improve, but also be straightforward with what we want for them, because it does go both ways. I would like to strengthen bonds. Maybe if we're at that point, strengthen that connection, maybe have it in a way that benefits us a little more, but as long as we give back enough in return. Just reevaluating these partnerships and trying to figure out how to how to organize our time and money for both ways.
Alrighty, good job. And then I'm just gonna explain the next few steps. So in the email I sent, I had said that Mafa Sphere is gonna be voting from June 27th to the 29th. This will be the Mafa Sphere voting, so the Mafa schools, their presidents and VPE, and the Mafa board will be voting as well. And then the results will be sent out no later than June 30th. Do you have any questions?
No questions.
No? All right. Well, you did amazing for your interview, and then that's really it.
Thank you.
Have a nice day. We are good to end the live stream.